On Friday night, Marvel announced 6 X-Men, a director, and a release date. And the most confident thing they did was refuse to give it a subtitle. Every Marvel film since Civil War has hidden behind a colon. Love and Thunder, Quantum Mania. They were going to do the Kang Dynasty, right up until it wasn't. This one is called X-Men. May 5th, 2028. That's a studio betting the title alone sells the ticket. And they're right. But here's what nobody's saying. They announced it at D23, where Marvel Studios never took a stage. 6 Marvel branded sessions on that schedule, and every one of them was comics and legacy panels. The Mutants got the biggest launch of the decade. The studio that has to make it didn't want a room. Good evening, everyone. I am Mark, your fat friend.
And I'm James, your black friend.
And this is the Fat and Black Connection.
We talk about wrestling, we talk about Marvel, and we talk about whatever else we want to talk about.
That's right. We are live. It is August 19th, 2026. It is 8:01 p.m. Pacific. And yeah.
I'm a little
How
upset.
are you?
I'm a little upset. Because before we moved segments in the last show that we did 2 weeks ago, I was trying to say that I had heard something about Marvel, like X-Men, having an announcement at D23, but we had just passed it and I couldn't go back. And so, yeah, I'm a little upset.
Well, first up, let's talk about our scorecard. So,
yeah.
You know, we haven't read this on the air because we didn't have a show last week, which
Right.
is a good thing because the number would have been wrong. The grade for last week would have said I was 0 out of 5 and you were 0 for 0. Then D23 and SmackDown resolved some open picks that we've looked at.
Yeah.
And as of this week, I would have been 2 of 7 and you were 1 for 1.
Yeah.
So that's not bad. I went 0 for 5 on WWE. Maybe I'm a better writer than I am a prognosticator of wrestling. But I went 2 for 2 on Marvel. So that's not a bad week. That's a diagnosis.
Yeah.
All 5 of my WWE misses, though, they were timing errors. So my directions were right. I just had the wrong dates. Since I was wrong, WWE has confirmed the direction for Femi and Breaker stare down, right? And Knight and Reigns, their cold hold. And then both the Marvel hits, those were event anchored, things that were already on the calendar with a date. So maybe those were a little easier to get right.
Right.
So what did D23 resolve? Well, for me, I got a full hit and probably my best call of the year so far. I had the 2-part condition, Jean Grey confirmed, and an X-Men film announced before Doomsday opens.
That's right. Yeah.
So both landed on the same stage on August 14th. Sadie Sink is confirmed for that X-Men film.
Well, I would hope so, because...
Well, having her stand alone as Jean Grey in that Spider-Man film didn't necessarily mean that she would have been in the first X-Men film.
Oh, yeah, I would kind of assume that she would be. I mean, I don't know. I like what we talked about with her on the bus and where she was heading. That's
upstate New York, yeah.
Yeah.
My other big hit was I called the VisionQuest trailer at D23, which we did get. We'll of course talk about in a little while.
Yeah.
For you, your first graded hit, and you bet the industry. You said Professor X would be the next X-Men casting. However, he wasn't the only one. We got a bunch.
Well, the thing was that I had sent you a link. And so the Emma Frost and Cyclops had already been confirmed. Those two had already been confirmed.
Well, no, the only one that had been confirmed was Emma Frost. Cyclops wasn't confirmed prior to D23. D23.
Oh, well, okay. Then the article that I had read, he was already confirmed as Cyclops.
Well, Marvel hadn't confirmed it, I should say.
Oh, okay. Then, yeah, okay. And then, yeah. And so I was like, I think we have to have Professor X. That's the only thing that really makes sense. Now, the way that they went, the other character, at least, well, the other characters, I wasn't sure about, but they did add them because we had actually talked about it. We had actually talked about seeing if they add, you know, Storm later or whatnot. And
Well, to
so
be clear, though, you did say that you thought they were going to go with an older Xavier, and Abbott's only 40. So I would not put that as an older Xavier.
no, I mean, and well,
And he
I
certainly
think
doesn't look it. He looks.
yeah, no, and he looks way younger. Like, so I think it's a good idea to have somebody that's, you know, visibly older than these kids basically that they have out there now. Um but yeah, no, I mean like the casting looks good. I was surprised that they went with Mr. Sinister as looks like the main
We'll talk
villain right
about it.
now.
We'll get
Yeah.
into it all.
Yeah, so I'm just saying
Don't
it's that was a little surprising to me. I wouldn't have thought that. I mean, that's a good way to go. I mean, seeing as what we've got with X-Men and with X-Men 97 and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah.
So you picked Corbin's U.S. title reign as the first SummerSlam change to be undone. Well, Corbin has now retained twice, once over Trick Williams and once over Carmelo Hayes in his hometown. So
Yeah,
you
and
missed
that
that one.
was well, no, and that again, I think that was he's I don't know. He hasn't he hasn't won clean any of these. So depending however long this lasts, I mean, if he actually wins, he's not going to win clean. It looks like in any of these matches.
So on the I told you that I thought I was going to get something right, and I was wrong. So I said there was going to be no explanation from Marvel around Wonder Man. I mean, technically, Marvel Studios itself has not put out on the record statement, but showrunner Andrew Guest on video, this is not a marketing stunt. There is no movie in the works. Contracts were signed, schedules were cleared. There was a decision made internally between Disney and Marvel that this didn't make sense for them, even though a few months ago it did. He said he was never given figures, and that's from an interview with Games Radar. Some other quotes coming out. Destin Daniel Cretton, who also directed Brand New Day, defended Feige. If it were up to Kevin, we would be doing that show. It's a bummer. I'm heartbroken about it.
Oh, okay. Well, then.
Um,
So it was a Beyond Feige thing.
So according to the Ankler, they say that Disney decided the viewership didn't justify the cost. 618 million minutes viewed in its opening week, then out of the Nielsen's top 10 almost immediately.
I guess.
So a leak is not a statement. So I'd still bank this on August 31st coming up that we're still not going to get anything official from Marvel. But I probably won't. I mean, I guess if we're going on technicality, I'd miss this, but
yeah,
I don't know.
I just think they're not gonna. They should honestly, they should say something, at least give the fans some kind of answer, but they're not. I don't think.
Well, let's move into our first major segment of the night, and let's talk about Marvel. Whoa, helps if I have the right thing up. Here we go. There it is. D23 ran Friday through Sunday at the Honda Center, and the Friday night Disney Entertainment Showcase was not live streamed, which means most of the audience experienced the biggest Marvel announcement in 5 years as a text post. In about 2 hours, Marvel cast 6 X-Men, put a director and a 2028 date on the film, released the Avengers Doomsday trailer, and released the VisionQuest trailer. It was the most Marvel news in a single night since Comic-Con 2019. And Marvel Studios never held a panel. Tonight, we go through what they announced, what they very deliberately did not, and whether a company can launch a franchise and hide from its own convention at the same time. So, our first topic here, let's talk about the X-Men cast in full and the two names that broke the rumor mills. So, Friday, August 14th, Disney Entertainment Showcase, Honda Center, not live stream, the cast, as announced, Kit Connor as Cyclops. No idea who this is. English actor.
Of course it's the English actor.
Christopher Abbott, American actor, as Professor X. No idea who this is.
Yeah.
Samara Weaving, who we discussed last show as Emma Frost.
Yeah, right.
Indy Navarrete as Rogue. No idea who that is. Maya Boyd as Storm.
Yeah, I don't know who that is either.
Sadie Sink as Jean Grey.
She's literally like the only one that I actually know.
Announced by video in which he joked he was playing Magneto, but is actually playing Mr. Sinister, Adam Driver.
Yeah.
And of course, director they've brought on is Jake Shearer. And that's the group of them, these new X-Men, if you will. I don't want to say the new X-Men because that could be misconstrued, but there's our kind of logo and date, May 5/5/28.
Yeah.
So the two internet rumors that they got it wrong. Every rumor mill was saying Bill Skarsgård as Professor X. Missed it. And everybody was saying Kaylee Spaney as Rogue.
Oh, really?
Yes. We still have some uncast characters, though, that are you would expect that we're probably going to see. Wolverine, Beast, Iceman, Gambit.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying
noise?
to... No, I was trying to take care of something. But...
We're doing a show here, so maybe...
Yeah, well, it's for my kid. So, no, I honestly, I don't expect a Wolverine. I'm not expecting a Wolverine.
Interesting. So
I know he's one of the biggest X-Men, but like for some reason, I don't feel a Wolverine really. And
so we did back on August 5th, we said that we thought Brand New Day was going to be the soft launch for the X-Men. And based on what we're seeing here, I think that's exactly what it was. So here's my main question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel just cast 6 leads. None of them a movie star, as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
For the most valuable property it owns. Is that confidence?
Smart.
Or is that budget?
No, I think it's smart. Honestly, I think it's really smart. If you're building a new team, use people that people will learn to know.
So you are a fan of this casting, you would say?
Well, I mean, I like the fact that they're not using these big names for this movie. I think that it lends itself to basically creating something that's new.
So, okay, I got some other questions. Kit Connor as Cyclops. You think this was the right call, or are we about to spend the next 3 years defending Cyclops again? Because, with the previous, was it Marsden? He never got any love. He was not the Cyclops that we needed. And what do you think?
As long as they make him more of the Cyclops, Marsden's problem was he was whiny. His Cyclops was super whiny, and we needed more of a leader. And so I'm hoping that this guy Kit Connor ends up being more of a that leader Cyclops.
All right. I don't know. I haven't seen him in a single thing. At the end of the day, I think part of that comes down to writing. I don't think Cyclops' writing was strong in the original X-Men series of films. So we'll see. I think part of it was Marsden was not great, but I don't think he was as bad. I think he's a talented actor. So I think writing.
I think he's a very talented actor. I just don't think that was the right might not have been the right thing for him specifically.
Adam Driver is Mr. Sinister. Is that the best villain casting Marvel has ever made?
I mean, like I look at him and I think, I mean, when I heard it, I was like, I could definitely see Mr. Sinister.
Yeah, like to me, I think Thanos was that Brolin. I think he was fantastic and probably would have been, Jonathan Majors was fantastic as Kang and was building. I think Adam Driver is Mr. Sinister. I don't think this is going to be a one and done, right? I think
Mr. Sinister Mr. Sinister went for miles. Why is my phone?
Yeah. So I would think, he might be the main baddie in this one and then maybe not in the next one.
Yeah, and I mean, and they could literally build build a whole, villain squad. I don't remember the X-Men. No, the X-Men really didn't have, it wasn't like they were going up against a bunch of people all at the same time, but I could definitely see something happening where they continue to make these villains bigger through multiple movies.
We got no Wolverine cast. We're 21 months out. Does that mean it's going to be Jackman, or does it mean they haven't decided?
Honestly, like I said, I don't think they use Wolverine in this one
at all. Period.
I don't like they might. Well, because the last time in the I'm trying to think of between like First Class and like what was it? First Class, Age of Apocalypse. I think we saw I remember we saw a Weapon X with that was Jackman, but I honestly don't think. I mean, I don't think they really need Wolverine.
All right,
you can build up to Wolverine.
The rumor mill was wrong on 2 out of the 6. Is Marvel finally getting to the point where they're a little bit more leak proof, or did they just change their minds late?
I mean, they're always going to probably have some leak problems, but that's just because the internet is the internet. But I think I think with a lot of this new stuff, they're going to try and make sure that they keep the lid on it pretty well.
Well, here's my strong take on this. Casting 6 unknowns and Adam Driver is probably the smartest thing Marvel has done since Endgame. They finally figured out the mutants are the star. Nobody needs a famous face to sell Cyclops. They need someone who can survive playing him for 10 years.
Yeah, that's very true.
Agree? Disagree?
No, I mean, I think, I mean, Cyclops is a pivotal character for the X-Men, and yeah, it's if you have somebody that's just like no, you need to have somebody that's strong, that is just capable of looking like a leader. So and hopefully they use the actual because I think they're using the comic costumes for the new movie, but I'm kind of hoping that they kind of go with the comic costumes looks like they're using the comic book costumes for Doomsday, but I'm kind of hoping that crosses over and they use more comic accurate costumes for this cast, because I think that's one of the biggest qualms that
when you say comic accurate, are you talking about the comics, or are you talking about what you've envisioned from the cartoon from the 90s?
No, like the comics as well as the cartoon. Like the comics and the cartoon costumes were very in
comics
line.
Because again, the X-Men have been around since the 60s, man.
Well, no, I'm talking. Yeah, they've used some of the old costumes. I'm talking about the 90s version costumes. That's one of the biggest things
so yes, you just confirmed what I asked you to begin with, which is you want the costumes of your youth when they were in the 90s cartoon, which we're getting in X-Men 97.
Right. Well, the thing is one of the things that's one of the biggest qualms people had with the X-Men movies. I didn't really
Because they
care.
wanted it,
They
they
wanted to
didn't want it to
be
be its
more.
own thing.
Yeah, the black costumes were kind. I mean, they kind of worked, but at the same time, I think people really that's what they were expecting. The costumes that the new cast had, like from the first class, those were getting towards that, but yeah, we never really fully got it. So I think I don't know. I kind of
I
that's
would just challenge you and say, go look at the history of the X-Men. Don't just look at a very narrow scope of your youth, because the X-Men were around 30 years before, 20, 30 years before you were born.
yeah.
Uh,
No, I don't. Those costumes, those costumes are weird looking. I mean, not weird looking, but I mean, I'm not a fan. Like those were older, like those ones that they came into
I don't
as they
I
came
don't
into the.
need this iteration to be the 90s. We're getting some of that, as you already called out, right, with Doomsday. We got the Gambit, right, already. Um, we saw Wolverine and Deadpool Wolverine in that costume. I don't need it. I am fine with seeing other iterations of the X-Men costumes than just what was from our youth. So I think if that's what you're expecting, I think you're probably going to be disappointed.
I mean, I don't. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, those are the costumes that I like. I'm just saying, if they go with something else, then they go with something else. It's not. But like, yeah, I think, like I said, I think that was one of the things that people really they wanted those costumes because we were coming out of that phase into the movies, like the cartoons, and then we were going into the movies, and that's kind of what they were expecting, but they didn't get. So that's what I know a lot of people that I talked to, like when those movies came out, they were like, "Why don't they have the comic costumes?" And I was like, I don't care.
Well, let's move on. All 6 Marvel branded sessions on the schedule were comics and legacy programming, not studio slate presentations. The film and TV news came inside the umbrella of Disney Entertainment Showcase. So they were sharing a stage with Star Wars and Pixar and Disney Animation. So, what does that practically mean? It meant X-Men, Doomsday, and VisionQuest all had to compete for oxygen with Star Wars Starfighter, Zootopia 3, and Incredibles 3 in the same block. And Secret Wars, not even mentioned. The film that the entire multiverse saga has been building toward, absent from the biggest Disney stage of the year. And theoretically coming out next year. Blade and Armor Wars, also absent, both still nominally in development, but come on. Wonder
I
Man,
thought,
zero mentions across every recap check, right? Canceled July 30th, renewed in March, 91% critics, and Emmy nominated lead. And Marvel walked through a 3-day fan convention without addressing it once. Compared to 2019, when Marvel Studios Hall H panel was the news cycle for a week. So here's my big question for you, Jane. Is a company that just launched the X-Men but wouldn't hold its own panel behaving like a confident studio or a cautious one?
I think I think it was just about focusing on that one thing. I think that's
Hmm.
what it was. I mean, they did that. They released the trailer. They released that Doomsday or actually it was like a special look or whatever, and then they did the Vision Quest trailer. So I think that was what they planned on doing. It's not. They don't think they had to talk about anything else. They can hold off. I think they can hold off if they wanted to. So
Then why has Marvel held solo panels every other year?
mm, maybe they just decided to switch it up.
So do you think that not mentioning Secret Wars tells you something is wrong with it, or that they're protecting it?
I think they're probably trying to keep they're trying to keep a tight lid on it.
Hmm.
That's what I
And
feel. I
would,
mean, I
so
feel
would you
like they're
say
giving
that
it.
you think Marvel folding into this larger showcase was smart because now you're getting some of the Star Wars audience, or is it safe?
I mean, like I know I have the at least what part of the whatever the presentation that people are put on YouTube, but um like rolling that into. See, I thought that was its own. I thought the Marvel stuff had its own thing. It was wrapped up with the.
It did not have its own panel.
Oh, okay. I thought it had its own. Well,
or its own like.
Just had
it was wrapped in with Disney Entertainment as a whole.
Yeah. So I mean, I think they had a bunch of announcements that they were going to make. This was I think one of the biggest ones. The others look like you're bound to get some crossover between people who like Marvel, Star Wars. They're Disney fans, and they're gonna be excited about everything that they have coming out.
Well, here's my take. Marvel gave the mutants the biggest launch of the decade and then refused to stand behind a podium and take questions about anything else. You don't skip your own panel when your slate is healthy. You skip it when there are 4 things on the board you can't explain.
I don't know about that.
No, you don't know about that?
No, I mean, because even if you don't want to answer questions because things are in development, like with the cast and everything, that's in development. So you don't need to, like answer questions about, are you casting anybody else? Blah, blah. You don't need all that. You just need to, you give what you got and you move on.
All right. I would say agree to disagree.
Mm-hmm. Just saying, I don't think you don't need to put everything out there all at once.
All right. Well, Spider-Man's legs are the real story now, and the number changed a little bit. So back on August 5th, we had said that the opening domestic was $355 million. The final is now $360.09 million. That is an all-time domestic opening record past Endgame. As of tonight, this film has crossed the $2 billion line, and that was on Sunday. Currently $786.5 million domestically, $1.238 billion internationally, so 2.024 worldwide. It is the 8th film ever to reach 2 billion and the second fastest to get there. Only Endgame in 11 days was quicker. It is now 8th. Go ahead.
Sorry. No, I think also with China jumping back in on the market, because I guess China had kind of dropped it for the most part, and they got back in on this movie. And I think that might have really helped the numbers there.
It is now 8th all-time worldwide and 4th all-time domestic. It passed Avatar's $785.2 million domestic lifetime this weekend. Highest grossing film of 2026, biggest Spider-Man film ever, biggest Sony release ever. It is the fastest film ever to 700 million domestic. It passed No Way Home of 1.106 billion to become Sony's biggest film overseas. Second fastest to 1 billion internationally, behind only Endgame. In its second weekend, 144.25 million, third biggest second weekend ever. Once again, behind Endgame at 147 million, and The Force Awakens at 149 million. A 60% drop, which is steep, but off a record base. For the third weekend, August 14th through the 16th, about 70 million domestic, down 51%. That is the second best third weekend of all time, behind only The Force Awakens at 90.2 million, and ahead of both Avatar films. So we've got August 21st through 23rd coming up this weekend. Forbes is projecting a final run on this film of $2.18 to $2.2 billion. The context that matters, this happened while Marvel's TV arm canceled a renewed show and skipped its own convention panel. So Spider-Man is now a $2 billion movie. It got there Sunday. Does a single film at that number change anything at all about Marvel's actual problems?
I mean, I think the problem is Spider-Man is one of their most popular characters, so people are going to see it regardless, I think. Is there still problems? Yeah, I think there's still problems. But but I think they're gonna try and look at the success of this movie, look at the formula of what they did, and how see what. I don't know if they can dissect it completely, because I mean that might have been more of a Spider-Man is a super popular character, probably like the first real popular character of Marvel, and I think that he draws fans wherever. So I think it's just a matter of are they going to try and duplicate this? I have a feeling they will. Will they succeed at the same rate? That is yet to be seen.
So 2.2 billion. Does that money go into the X-Men budget, or does it go into Sony's pocket?
I think it's probably going back into Sony, or some of it's going back into Sony. I think it will boost. I think the budget for X-Men will now be we'll probably get some padding.
I would hope so.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know. I don't know what their current budget is. But I'm sure, because it's X-Men, I'm sure it's going to be a little bit higher than just like a normal film.
So does a Spider-Man this successful make it harder to launch the X-Men because the bar just moved?
I don't think so. I mean, where you're bringing the X-Men into the MCU, so I mean, it's hardly different. Excuse me. I think it's. I personally think it's a good move to do what they did. You had Sadie Sink, where she was now confirmed as Jean Grey. Then you pile on pile on the other actors there, and you just leave it and you move on. I think that's, like I said, I think it's a pretty brilliant move, in my opinion.
Well, here's my strong take on it. Marvel's biggest movie ever is a Sony movie. Their most reliable character is one they don't fully own. That's the whole company's situation in one sentence.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's because like when they gave up the rights to Spider-Man, when they gave up the rights to a lot of their kind of heavy hitters to Fox, and then when Sony had Sony just kept releasing stuff that might not even, some of it was horrible. Actually, not even some of it, a lot of it was horrible. But we never got full answers on. Like the random Vulture snap at the end of Morbius, and then Venom jumps back, so it's all not making sense. But yeah, I think Sony keeps putting out little things that are connected to Spider-Man so that they can retain Spider-Man. I mean, honestly, probably smart on their end. Plus, because they have the Spider-Verse stuff, and so yeah.
Well, and I think the Spider-Verse stuff, finish it off, because that's what they're doing, right? But I think the live action stuff, just let it go. Like, I think, and they've kind of said they're pretty much done. But then again, they also came out and said, oh, they're going to do something else with Venom, and so I'm not quite sure. But in my head, you can still keep the rights by just working with Marvel and Disney, as long as you produce, what is it, every 5 years? I think they have to release something.
Yeah, something like that.
So,
but at least work with Disney and Marvel. That'd be fine. I'd be actually more okay with that, because then they're not going to let it just be booty.
Yeah, I think they need to let all the other crap go and stop trying to make something, because everything they've tried, Madam Web, Craven, whatever, Morbius, like it's missed it. It's missed the mark, and it's not getting folded in. So
yeah, I mean, I don't understand the hate behind Madam Web. I actually kind of enjoyed the film.
Haven't seen it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I watched it just kind of like, oh, let me see what this is about, and I was like, oh, this isn't as bad as people made it out to be. But yeah,
I cannot say either way. All right, let's talk Doomsday, Avengers trailer, and the two fingers.
That was bonkers.
So,
It's like, wait, what?
so the trailer shown at the Friday showcase, which was then released online the same night, is for this film coming out December 18th. We're getting very close. We're less than 4 months out now.
Right. And tickets are already on sale.
But the shot that everybody is talking about, Doom stops Stormbreaker with two fingers. Thor's axe, the weapon that put Thanos down, caught between two fingers. And the line,
Oh, I thought he just stopped it. I didn't think he like caught it.
oh no, two fingers stopped it. And the line, hell answers to me, for I am Doom.
Yeah. Well, at least Thor learned that he was going for the head that time. So, you know.
in this clip, which to me was one of the most amazing things we've gotten so far, Doom raises Sentinels in the trailer.
Yeah.
Which that is a mutant franchise weapon appearing in an Avengers film 4 months before the X-Men casting was announced for a 2028 release.
Yeah. I mean, well, we're apparently getting mutants in this film, so I can understand why they're pulling them out. And actually, the thing that I liked about them, they were like the actual, not the Sentinels that we got in like Days of Futures Past, but like they looked like the old school mother mold Sentinels.
So also, you know, kind of an honest caveat, if you will. A lot of this is reused San Diego Comic-Con footage. Most people didn't get to see this because you had to be there, and they've done a good job of keeping it kind of sealed. But 4 months out from a December release, a substantially recycled trailer is a choice worth interrogating, I think. But something else that we got that was probably even a bigger deal at D23 related to Doomsday, the Jackman and Reynolds video tease ended without confirming anything. They appeared, they did a bit, and Wolverine and Deadpool were not confirmed for the movie. In August for December. So here's my big question for you, James. 4 months from release, Marvel showed a trailer that's mostly footage that was seen at Comic-Con, and then a Jackman and Reynolds bit that confirmed nothing. Is that teasing, or is that not having a finished film?
I think the film is pretty much done. I think they're going to use, if they do that, they'll use them they'll be in Secret Wars. But I think,
well,
yeah.
One thing I'll say to that is, I don't know if you saw, but on Disney Plus, they've released this series called The Road to Doomsday. And it's, you know, I think it's 12 films or series or whatever. It's about 48 hours worth of content they want you to watch before they're saying this is the stuff you must watch before Doomsday. One of which is Deadpool and Wolverine.
I mean, unless they've been just keeping that under wraps. So, I mean, like they very well could have just kept that under wraps. But I think with that might have to do with because of Gambit, but I don't know.
So Doom catching Stormbreaker with two fingers. Is that the best villain introduction Marvel's done, or too much too early?
I mean, that's just what we've seen. I mean, God knows what else he can do. I mean, yeah, when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's not good. And then just kind of like flick Stormbreaker away, and then like flicks Thor away. Like, huh?
Sentinels in a Doomsday trailer. Is that a Doomsday plot point, or is it just a commercial for the X-Men?
I mean, again, we have X-Men in this film apparently, so why not use it could be just I don't know. I don't know if Doom does mental stuff, like whereas like he can get into heads like Scarlet Witch and stuff like could. But if you can do that, then yeah, why not use these use these. I guess you can call them villains. I guess that have basically been trying to track the X-Men for ages. You know.
So I'm nailing you down right now. Jackman and Reynolds, are they in the movie? Yes or no?
No.
What's your confidence on that?
Out
of 10.
Out of 10, I'm about 7.5.
Wow. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say they're in the film, and I feel about similar to you. I'm going to call it an 8. And hell answers to me for I am Doom. Does that land, or is it a poster line?
I think it'll be a poster line. But I think the bigger story is in my opinion, was you've all been living stolen lives. That to me is like, wait, what? But I saw, and there's a guy, he put out a video about that, and I mean, I agreed with maybe like 2 points that he made, but everything else he seems kind of off base.
Well, my strong take on this one is they put the Sentinels in this trailer because they know Doomsday's job is to sell 2028. The most important thing in the Doomsday trailer isn't in Doomsday. And that's the X-Men to come in 2028. Do you understand what I'm saying or no? Do you want me to explain?
Wait, you said the most important thing to come out of Doomsday is X-Men. But that
meaning Doomsday's objective, from my perspective right now, is to help set up Phase 4. Or not Phase 4, whatever you want to call. What are we in? Sagas, right? The X-Men saga or the Mutant saga.
Mutant saga, yeah.
Right. I feel like Doomsday's objective is to really set up and establish the next saga. And in Infinity War, I'm sorry, not Infinity War, Secret Wars will close out both. It will close out and it will open fully. So I think Doomsday's main objective is to open up that mutant saga, the next major.
So is this is the end of the multiverse saga?
Correct. It's the start. So technically, the official end of the multiverse saga is Secret Wars next year.
Right.
Which is supposed to be a sequel to Doomsday, right? It's a direct, theoretically, kind of like Infinity War Endgame.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But I think right now, this film's objective is more to establish the next saga.
Okay, I can rock with that.
Your brother sneezes so loud.
Yeah, he does.
All right. You ready for the next one?
Yep.
Here we go. VisionQuest and the trilogy nobody realized they were watching.
Yeah.
So we got a trailer release at D23. This is going to premiere October 14th on Disney Plus, and Feige framed it explicitly on stage. This year, we close out a trilogy of shows that started with WandaVision, continued with Agatha All Along, and now Vision gets his own series. Paul Bettany's line, and it's the whole pitch, no one is ever really dead. This is Marvel's only remaining live-action Disney Plus launch this year. And the structural point, Marvel just retroactively declared 3 unrelated-looking shows as a trilogy. WandaVision 2021 is a 5-year arc that nobody was told was an arc until the 3rd installment's trailer. This is, goes against our earlier topic, right? This is the one piece of Marvel Television that got a stage, a date, and a sentence from Feige. Wonder Man got none of the 3. So, James, we were building a trilogy the whole time, a plan Marvel executed, or a story they're telling now because it makes 3 shows look like one strategy?
Well, I mean, I think we kind of knew. Well, I mean, I can't remember even how many name changes we went through before it was before we got Agatha. All was what did it end up being?
Agatha all
Agatha
along.
all along. Yeah, I mean we went through like 10 different titles. I feel like before we actually got the final one. Um, but we knew that was basically a continuation because we got introduced to her. Um, we didn't know how it was going to be a continuation, but then adding one of the sons. So well, I can't assume, but I think that this
So you're
show.
buying it, is what you're telling me, that this is a trilogy? Because
I mean, like I kind of had a feeling like when I had heard about this, and it was like I had seen the only thing that I had seen was the picture of the White Vision, and that was the same White Vision that we saw at the end of WandaVision.
so
I
then
was
please explain to me why, when they announced Agatha All Along, that they announced it as a spin-off and not a middle chapter. I think this is a retrofit.
It could be, but I think like if it's a spinoff because it was a character from the show from WandaVision, but it had some connections to it still. And then I think
Okay.
they might have said, okay, this is a trilogy.
So
But
at the time of watching Agatha, did you honestly feel like WandaVision and Agatha were part of a trilogy, or were even meant to be like connected? Because to me, Agatha, aside from the fact that the kid was there and that played into it, it really didn't feel like there was a strong connection. Uh, you know, it didn't feel. It felt like, yes, same universe, but not same story.
I mean, that's the only thing that kind of made me feel like it was because when like at the beginning, she's still living in that kind of. I mean, somehow oh, that's right, because she ended up getting like blasted at the end of. So she was like in this kind of weird coma type deal, but like that was the connection that I had to. Okay, that's the connection to WandaVision, and then with the son, I was like, oh, okay. Like I kind of figured that that's the connection. And then, at the end of that show, when they were talking about going to find his brother, that kind of was like, oh, okay. Well, see how that plays out.
So no one is ever really dead. Is that a Vision line, or is that a Marvel mission statement at this point?
NERD. I think that's just I think that might be a Vision line. But also that gives that cover for, because like I was thinking about I saw like this I didn't see the full screen trailer. I just saw the short story version, the vertical version of it, and I was like, oh, um I didn't see I saw the portrait version of it first, and I was like, oh, I'm missing something. So I went back and watched the landscape version of it, and I was like, oh, okay, that makes a little bit more sense now. But yeah, I think because it brought to mind, I was like, I kind of felt like we saw Wanda like fall at the at when the tower collapsed in Multiverse of Madness, but we never actually were confirmed that she's dead. And that's the thing, is that I don't think she's actually dead anyways.
Oh, so are you predicting that Wanda may make an appearance here?
Well, I think Wanda will make an appearance in. I think it's already been confirmed that she makes appearances in like some of these flashbacks or like video things that he's watching. But I think we might actually get her towards the like maybe last few minutes of the final episode or something.
Interesting. So October 14th, it's 9 weeks before Doomsday. Is VisionQuest going to be required viewing for that movie?
I don't think it is. I thought VisionQuest was not going to be really needed for that. Could be wrong, but I thought that was kind of like, you know, its own thing.
Well, my strong take is this. Marvel's TV strategy is now make it. And if it works, announce it was always a trilogy. If it doesn't, cancel it and never say the name again. VisionQuest and Wonder Man are the same company, 4 months apart.
Well, I think this was already pretty much done.
Yeah, so was season 2 of Wonder Man being announced, and
It was announced, but nothing had been started or anything like that. So this had already been, I think this was pretty much wrapped by the time we even heard about Wonder Man not being canceled.
All right, well, I'm going to give you my positions coming out of our big Marvel segment. So Marvel names its Wolverine before the end of 2026, and it is not Hugh Jackman. I feel like a 6 out of 10 on this one. Cleanest test of whether the X-Men cast is finished or stalled is when we get our Wolverine, I think. I've got a couple here. Marvel gives no public explanation for the Wonder Man cancellation by August 31st. I'm carrying that one on because we're not there yet. I'm still feeling good about that, 8 out of 10, because I thought if I was going to miss that one, it would have happened at D23, and it didn't. Wolverine and Deadpool, they will both be confirmed for Doomsday before the film opens via a second trailer, not a press release. That'll come. I'm giving that a 6 out of 10. Secret Wars is going to get no new footage, no title confirmation, no date change for the rest of 2026. We're not going to hear anything about Secret Wars until next year. 7 out of 10 on that. VisionQuest is going to hold its October 14th date and land above 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. We'll give that a 6 out of 10. And finally, the Sentinels in Doomsday trailer pay off as a Doom-controlled weapon in the film, not as an X-Men tie-in. I'm giving that a 5 out of 10.
See, that my only problem with that would be, I mean, unless he like shrinks them down and makes them Doom bots, because that was his kind of thing. He had the Doom bots.
Those could be Doom bots.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the thing I'm thinking. Like, maybe he like rises these big things and somehow like shrinks them down and makes them Doom bots. I mean, that's the only thing that kind of makes sense.
Why do Doom bots have to be small? Why can't they be giant?
Because like, well, I mean,
because that's what I want them to be.
No, I mean, just saying, like, in anything that I've seen, like video games, comics, other things, that they've been like basically the same size as Doom. And like there was actually sometimes he would use them as like decoys, and which was actually kind of smart. But he used them as decoys. So
you ready for your lightning round?
Sure, let's go.
All right, I expect a quick response with a confidence rating out of 10.
Okay.
Who plays Wolverine?
I don't think we're getting Wolverine anytime soon. So
when we do, who will it be?
Oh, I have zero clue. I mean, the only other person like we've talked about, I mean, like, what was it, Henry Cavill and stuff like that, but I don't think that's going to be it. But I don't know. I don't know. Honestly,
all right.
Have zero.
Is Adam Driver's Mr. Sinister going to be the main villain of the X-Men film or a stinger?
I think he's going to end up being. Wait, what do you mean, stinger?
Like just another
just one of
not.
No,
nothing.
I think he's going to be a villain that will be almost a through line through however many movies they make.
Specifically, this first X-Men film, will he be the main villain? Yes or no?
Oh yes, absolutely. I think.
What is your confidence on that?
I think at least I'm like a 9 on that.
Okay. Does Secret Wars keep its current release date?
What is it?
Next year.
Do they haven't given it a date or anything?
I believe it has an actual date. Do you need it?
Well, I mean, it would kind of help me in a sense.
You're killing me.
Sorry.
December 17th, 2027.
Oh yeah, I think that stays fine. It's a year after the
What's your confidence that it stays that date?
Oh, I'm pretty. I could pretty much say I'd almost a 10 on that one because it's a year after Doomsday, and they've kept those pretty much solid.
Does VisionQuest get a second season?
Probably not.
Or a sequel to make it a quadrilogy?
No, I don't think. I think this ends it.
What is your confidence there?
Oh, that's I'd give that a 8.5.
All right, one number. Opening weekend, Doomsday. How much is it going to open to domestically?
Domestically, well, I think it's going to end up breaking Spider-Man, but what's Spider-Man's opening was what, 6 something?
260 million. So domestically.
Oh, 260 million. That was just opening. I'm gonna say like it'll end up being like 3.
300 million?
I think 300 million. Yeah.
And how confident do you feel in that?
That one I'm a little shaky, so I'm gonna go like 6.5, 7.
All right. Well, Marvel spent Friday night announcing things it won't deliver for 2 years. WWE spent Friday night changing 2 titles in the same building. One of these companies is selling you 2028, and the other one can't stop rewriting next week. Boston. So, because we were off last week, this is kind of 2 weeks of television, but we're not going to go in depth on the full 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks where the belts actually moved. SmackDown out of Boston had 2 title changes and a hometown title match that didn't go the hometown way. Raw set up a Roman Reigns deadline. NXT had a debut nobody saw coming. And on Friday, in Kevin Owens' hometown, he gets a shot at the undisputed WWE Championship against CM Punk 17 months after having his neck fused. So, we'll start there.
Okay.
Punk versus Owens, Toronto for the undisputed title and a neck that shouldn't work. Friday, August 21st, Scotiabank Arena, Toronto. CM Punk versus Kevin Owens, undisputed WWE Championship on a SmackDown, not a PLE, in Owens' hometown. Owens returned August 2nd after 17 months out following a neck fusion. Surgeon Dr. Adam Cantor referred Owens by Randy Orton, who had the same surgeon. His line on returning, "I'm never being careful." For a man who had vertebrae fused, that is either a promo or a genuinely alarming statement. And on SmackDown, August 14th, this last Friday, the two had a confrontation built on 20-year-old Ring of Honor incident. Punk called Owens a fat slob. So they're litigating 2006 for a 2026 world title match. And here's the structural oddity. This is a world title match given away for free on TV in a market WWE runs once a year. Our August 5th misses here, both hosts said the Owens title shot would be delayed past the end of the month. And now it's happening August 21st. So that was our guess. We thought it wouldn't happen before the end of the month. Both of us were wrong. And we were wrong together. So, James, WWE is putting the undisputed title on the line on Friday night in Toronto. Is that a gift to Owens' hometown, or is that WWE telling you exactly how the match ends?
That's a gift to his hometown. Yeah, he's not winning that match.
I don't think we have a clear decision coming out of the match. Just putting that out there.
I don't think. Well, he's not winning this match, and I don't think this match ends with. I think this match is going to end super controversial. So that's all. That's how I feel about that.
A 20-year-old Ring of Honor insult as the hook for a world title match. Does that work for anyone who wasn't watching in 2006?
It's funny to me because because that's kind of been my opinion of Kevin Owens since I first saw him. I was like, what the heck is this guy doing? Like, he's out here.
You thought he was a fat slob?
Like, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I thought he was very talented, but I was like, bro, like, you come out in like a messed up t-shirt. What are you, the Brooklyn Brawler out here? I mean, the only thing you wore like basketball shorts, with t-shirt. Which, I mean, you have your own look, but I mean, I was like, I remember the first time I saw him, I was like, what is this guy?
So Owens says he's never being careful. 17 months after a neck fusion. You comfortable watching that match?
Yeah. Yeah, he's not going to be careful, but he's.
I mean, there is like shoot heat between these two guys. Like Owens legitimately does not like CM Punk. Do you know a lot of the background, like who Kevin Owens is friends with outside of WWE and stuff like that?
No.
So you've heard of the Young Bucks, right?
Yeah.
So the Young Bucks is a tag team that are VPs for AEW.
Right.
They helped create AEW. Kevin Owens is like legit friends with the Young Bucks. And CM Punk created a lot of issues over in AEW, specifically with the Young Punk or with the Bucks. So when he's in this promo and he's talking about his friends, he's not just talking about, the Bucks. There are others. Colt Cabana, you've probably heard about the background incident with, CM Punk and Colt Cabana, how they used to be friends and now they hate each other. And
right.
So there is a lot of legitimate dislike from Kevin Owens towards CM Punk and likely the other way around as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like they could have leaned more into some of that stuff rather than focusing on a Ring of Honor issue that happened 20 years ago. Like, you could talk about it, but that should be like brief. Here's how I started to hate you, and then here are all these other things you've done along the way for me to hate you, rather than I'm so immature I'm holding on to a 20-year grudge.
I mean, like, honestly, that's kind of how Kevin Owens has been. He's just like, if you think about it, he's turned on everybody that he's been friends with. So, I mean, and then, so like, yeah, him holding on to something for 20 years, that doesn't surprise me. That really doesn't. That honestly doesn't surprise me at all. As just not only just as a person, but as a character.
So we both said that this title shot wouldn't happen this month. How did we misread this? We thought it would be something on Sunday night.
Well, because I think Sunday night's main event. Because I didn't know that they were going to. I didn't know they were going to Toronto.
Even if you did, would you have thought this match would have happened there? I would have thought they'd have a big promo, but I wouldn't have thought
probably.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean the main thing is that he just returned. He's going back to his home. He's number one contender.
See, I could have seen them having a big match, like a tag match where, Zayn and Owens versus CM Punk and someone, I could have seen something like that, but Cody Rhodes for whatever reason, right? But
yeah,
I would, even if I had known or been looking at the calendar and saw, oh yeah, they're going to Toronto, I still would not have thought that they would give this match away on SmackDown.
I mean, I think it's because I think they are right now, especially with the World Championship? No, yeah, the World Championship. It's I don't know why they set it up this way, but it was that whole name of place, time and date, type situation. That's what they set up. They set that up with, just say when, and they set that up with Cody Rhodes, and it kind of rolled over into Owens, and so again, I think this doesn't end here. This is one. This match is one, and then it's not clean, which will take us into that's gonna have to go for a while, because that's gonna have to end up in November Survivor Series, because I think there's nothing in October. Oh no, Money in the Bank. It could be at Money in the Bank, but because Money in the Bank's in October, right?
Well, here's my take. You don't book a world title match in a man's hometown on free television unless you need the crowd reaction for something. Either Owens wins and Toronto comes apart, or he loses and WWE spent that crowd on a rejection. There's no third version of this. If they go any other way without a clean win, one way or the other, I think if I'm in Toronto and I know you're coming back next year, I'm probably not going again.
They'll go. They'll definitely go again. Especially if you have Sammy and if you have Sammy on the show, if you have Owens on the show, they'll be there. This is kind of for me. I already said, I don't think this doesn't end this. This is just the beginning of this. Honestly, I still think Sami Zayn gets involved in this somehow. So
let's move on. We got the AAA tournament, and Roman Reigns is going to Mexico City. So we had an 8-man AAA tournament, which is running now, right? It was billed as a AAA tournament, and the winner would get to face Roman Reigns on Raw September 14th at the Arena CDMX in Mexico City. All 4 of the quarterfinals are done, and the semifinals are set. Penta, Laredo Kid on Raw on August 10th with a Mexican Destroyer. La Parca beat Psycho Clown on the August 15th AAA taping. Yeah. On Raw this last Monday, Rey Fénix beat El Fiscal with a Mexican Muscle Buster. And Dragon Lee beat El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. in 11 minutes, countering a Wagner driver into Operation Dragnet. Yeah. So we've got our semifinal set coming up on Monday from Raw in the Canadian Tire Center of Ottawa. Penta versus La Parca and Rey Fénix versus Dragon Lee. With our final on August 31st, where the winner will face Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight title. So I don't know if you're aware, you probably are, but Penta and Rey Fénix are real-life brothers.
Yeah, I know that part.
Looking to me like we're on a collision course for the two of them. So I'm thinking next Monday or the 31st, we're going to have brother versus brother for a shot at Roman Reigns in Mexico City.
And we haven't had a brother versus brother match in quite some time,
But here's the thing about this whole thing and what I'm actually seeing happen. WWE is using its AAA acquisition to build a native Mexican main event and putting Roman Reigns at the end of it as a boss fight. Arena CDMX for a Raw, not PLE. That's a Netflix play, a marquee international episode of weekly TV. And the bracket now guarantees a story either way, right? One half is Penta versus La Parca. The other is brother versus brother. Whoever WWE puts opposite Reigns at Arena CDMX will have gone through family or through a mass AAA institution to get there. So, James, WWE is running this tournament whose entire purpose is to feed someone to Roman Reigns in Mexico City. Does that make them a winner, or does it expose them?
I think they want to try. They're trying to get more eyes on AAA. I mean, yeah. As soon as I heard that they were doing this, I was like, I think what's like Roman Reigns isn't going to take it. Like he'll take it seriously, but not seriously, and so like he'll end up like basically getting whoever he's fighting. They'll hit some big moves. They'll hit some high flying stuff, and be flashy about the lucha libre, as a lot of lucha libre is. It's very kind of fast and flashy, but at the end of the night, getting caught by a spear, Superman punch, whatever, getting choked out, whatever they need, whatever's going to happen. It probably will be a spear, but yeah, they're not winning, but it's just I think it's to get more eyes on AAA and. A lot of the talent they have over there, which is they got a very talented roster. I mean, I've been watching AAA since, not like fully, but like after the mass, I think the week before the mass versus mass match. And then I've pretty much kind of kept up with it as it goes. And I've been very impressed by AAA.
Penta, Phoenix, or Dragon Lee? Who do you want opposite of Reigns? And yes, I am saying La Parka is not going to be it.
No, I don't think La Parka is going to be it either. But I mean, personally, I think it's uh, the storyline would be, I think, a little bit better with Phoenix big champion versus champion. But I think with what they did with Rey Phoenix, with Los Perros, I think that'll make it. So that's what I think it'll be. End up being. Oh no, did I say Rey Phoenix? I meant Penta and Los Perros. I think it'll end up being Penta because I think he's the bigger star.
So you're thinking Penta. What's your confidence on that?
Again, like I said, that for me, it's almost a 50-50 type situation. So I think I'm about a 5 because either way, it can be compelling because you got the champion versus champion, but then you have this guy who might end up, who was a member of this faction and could be going back to joining that faction to have as they said, the backup.
I do think we're going to get the brother versus brother as the final. Dragon Lee is out, in my opinion. Between Penta and Phoenix, I think WWE is pushing Penta to be, top of the card. I'm with you. I'm going with Penta. I'm gonna say I feel pretty solid on that. I'm gonna give it an 8.5, 9. Next one: does Reigns lose in Mexico City? Can he?
He could, but he won't.
Yeah, there's no chance in hell, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's more of a chance of Vinnie Mac making a comeback, right?
He's not. I mean, like I said, like I just said, it'll be. It's not going to be a just like, oh, you fed me this luchador. No, it's going to be a little bit of a. He's going to struggle a little bit.
So would you say that putting this on Raw instead of a PLE is a vote of confidence for Netflix, or is it a downgrade for the match?
No, I think it's just the way that I think it's going to be end up being good for Netflix. But I think, yeah, I mean, I think this match, I was kind of surprised when that was what Rey Mysterio was going for. I thought it would have been it might have been some of like the bigger guys. I mean, when I say bigger guys, I mean more of their heavyweight division on AAA. But
so I do think the best final going into this would have been Phoenix versus Dragon Lee. I think that would have been an amazing match to watch. So do you think WWE missed the mark there, or what do you think?
No, I think the brother versus brother is more intriguing personally.
From a storyline, but from pure match, like watching the fight, because there's not going to be any time to set up a brother versus brother, right? There's no, you're basically going to have these two matches, and then the following week you're going to have this is probably the main event, so you're not going to have enough time to really tell the story of brother versus brother. This isn't Bret Hart, Owen Hart.
Yeah, I understand that, and it's like there's been no reason for them to beef. They've been on two different shows. They haven't tagged with each other, in some time. And so I think like just even still, like just having, when you have brother versus brother, it doesn't have to be set up. I think in personal opinion, like it doesn't always have to be set up.
All right. Well, Wagner Jr. and Psycho Clown are AAA institutions and both went out in the quarterfinals. Is WWE just using AAA's legends as credibility props for its own contenders?
Possibly, but there's a whole Psycho Clown storyline that they're working on right now on AAA.
All right. Well, this is the first time WWE has bought a promotion and actually used it instead of burying it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think sorry, a side note, I think AAA is a big enough institution that they want to make sure that they don't just bury it.
Oh yeah, because WCW wasn't, or ECW wasn't, I guess. Okay.
WCW is whatever. ECW is whatever.
A Mexican tournament winner facing Roman Reigns in Arena CDMX is the single best idea on WWE's board right now. And it's happening on a Monday.
Probably early start time too.
All right. Let's move on. The fall calendar is set. Wow, that does not look good, huh? Here we go. How about that?
There we go. Yeah.
NXT Heatwave, Sunday, August 30th. Burt Ogden Arena, Edinburgh, Texas. We're 11 days out.
And they also have another show going on at the same time.
Money in the Bank, October 10th. Smoothie Center, New Orleans. This is the date that made our August the 5th Money in the Bank qualifier prediction a guaranteed miss. We were looking for qualifiers in August for an October event. Oops.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think we were completely off base, but, it would have been nice to see something happen there. Raw, August 3rd, did 2.6 million global Netflix views and 5.4 million hours viewed. 6th globally, 4th in the US for the week. That is a wrestling show in the global Netflix top 10.
It's good.
So the scheduling read: Heatwave on August 30th, the AAA final August 31st, Money in the Bank not until October 10th. WWE has a 6-week gap between Heatwave and its next major card, and the AAA tournament plus the September 14th Mexico City Raw are what fill it in. So, James, WWE has a 6-week hole between Heatwave and Money in the Bank, and it's filling it with weekly TV in Mexico City. Is the PLE model getting less important, or is this just a soft calendar?
I think it's probably just soft. But I think with Texas has there's on that same night or same day there's a AAA event happening too. So there's Heatwave and then this AAA event that's happening. I think it could be in the same place. I don't know. But all I know is that both of those are happening. They've been advertising that on AAA that both of them are happening. So yeah, I think either way, I think it's probably just might just be a soft calendar.
2.6 million views and 6th globally on Netflix. Is that good?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, 6th.
When you heard that Raw was going to move to Netflix, did you think it would be this good? Or did you think it was good, but, because 6th globally, again, that's a big deal. To be in the top 10 on Netflix, that's a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of knew, but because now they kind of, except everybody can get to Monday Night Raw on Netflix, so I think that makes sense because everybody is now coming to one place.
So Money in the Bank in October instead of the summer. Does the briefcase still mean the same thing?
I don't know. I mean, the past, I can't even tell you the past couple. I think it was Tiffany Stratton, and I can't remember the guy that won it. So, Seth Rollins had it last time. Yeah. So, I think it still holds some weight because you can cash in whenever you want, but I think this is kind of a sorry we screwed you guys on WrestleMania type situation.
Fair enough. All right, let's talk about SmackDown. I know someone who probably broke their TV. JC Jane beat Tiffany Stratton for the Women's United States Championship, finishing with the Rolling Encore.
Yeah.
Another title change. Tama Tonga and Tala Tonga won the tag titles in a match against Damian Priest and R-Truth. And the War Raiders finishing with Brothers Keeper.
Oh.
Two title changes in the same night.
I somehow missed that match. I don't know how I missed that match, but
2 title changes, same night. We also had Baron Corbin retain his title. So we had 3 title matches. Retain his title over Carmelo Hayes with End of Days in Hayes' hometown of Boston. And then Trick Williams and Little Yachty ambushed Corbin with a kendo stick.
Yeah.
We also had Gunther, who submitted Matt Cardona. Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton ended in a no contest. CM Punk and Kevin Owens confronted each other, which we talked about a little while ago with the Ring of Honor Fat Slob incident. And so we had WWE change 2 titles on a Friday night and had a 3rd title match end in a hometown heartbreak plus a kendo stick. That is a stacked episode of free TV, and it happened the same night Marvel was casting X-Men.
Well, we weren't seeing that, so.
I'm just saying, that's a really big night of entertainment for us when you look at from the Marvel and WWE perspective.
Yeah.
So here's my big question for you. 2 title changes on one Friday night, neither on a PLE. Is WWE devaluing the belts, or is it finally making free TV matter?
I think it's trying to make the free TV matter, because maybe viewership was falling, so they want to make sure they get people. If it's a title match, people will tend to watch that more.
Especially if titles change, right? Like if it's always title match, belt's going to stay where it is, then great. There's still no reason to watch.
We don't get that. We don't get the spoiler of like WCW did when they told us about Mankind winning the belt, and immediately TVs switched to Raw.
And from then on, WWE won the Monday Night War.
Yeah, that was the dumbest thing WCW could ever done.
Yep.
And I think it was a smart play by WWE. It's still WWF at the time, but it was a smart move on them, because they probably knew that they were because they had to know that they were doing spoilers, and so they were like, "Cool, you guys want to spoil something? Here, spoil this," and it paid off. It paid off.
So, JC Jane over Tiffany Stratton, deserved, or is Stratton being moved off the belt for something else?
I think she's moving to something else.
Main event, you think?
Possibly, or at least I think maybe because is women's tag team below that?
What do you mean below?
Like as far as like in kind of in the hierarchy of belts?
I would say they're equal.
Yeah. So I mean, she might just be making a lateral and with Chelsea Green. Maybe we'll see. I don't know, but like not a huge fan of. I mean, I used to like JC Jane, and then like ever since this whole Fatal Influence thing, I've just been kind of like I've been over her, and but yeah, I think they're trying to put something else for Tiffany Stratton.
The MFT is beating Priest, R-Truth, and the War Raiders. Is that a real tag division push?
It needs to be, because that's why they got a Haku back,
which is great. But I mean, the tag division is super weak. Like,
it's not great.
Like when you've got the War Raiders, who they've been predominantly used on AAA. R-Truth and Priest, fun gimmick team throw together, but not really a team. And then the MFTs, who, legitimate threat to a team like the War Raiders, but who else is there? What other tag teams are there? Name 3 other tag teams, please.
Well, yeah, not on SmackDown. It's not really. I mean, actually, all on Raw. There's been a
name 3 other tag teams that are like being used consistently on TV, please.
Yeah, they're not.
Right. So tag division sucks in general.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with. I'm not saying you need to have a strong tag division, but let's not put these kind of matches on and make them seem like they're important. They're not.
Well, I think it was mainly because the Warrior Raiders have been wanting to have both the AAA and SmackDown Tag Team Championship.
So Corbin cheated to beat Hayes in Hayes' hometown. Best heel work in the company right now?
It's not. I mean, it's not even good heel stuff. Personally,
what is good heel stuff?
I don't know. It just feels. I don't know. Corbin could do so much better. It feels lazy to me.
It feels classic heel to me.
Yeah. No.
It feels like Dick Dastardly heel. Snidely Whiplash heel.
Snidely Whiplash heel. Just straight comical. Like it like when I saw it, I was like, yeah. I thought he was gonna get rid of that fur belt like once he got his nameplates on it, but still carrying it around.
After the match, Little Yachty with a kendo stick, yes or no?
I was like, I mean, it didn't really phase him a whole lot. And I mean, it did give Trick Williams a chance to get down to the ring and hit something on him. But yeah, it was. I personally, I think Little Yachty needs to go. I thought Little Yachty would be done after he went through a table, personally. But yeah, I thought that was like, oh, because that's how they got rid of. That's how they got rid of Jelly Roll. That's how they got rid of. That's the same match they got rid of McAfee. So I thought him going through that table was going to be kind of like, okay, cool, he's out. But apparently he ain't recording nothing, or he ain't going on tour. So I guess, he got to make
He'll
money.
be around a while longer.
Yeah, got to make some money somehow. Unless they make Trick Williams pay for it. And then it's am I getting a friends and family discount?
Rhodes and Orton to a no contest. Are they protecting them, or do they not know what they want it to be yet?
It's those things between those two. It always ends up going to hell. So I mean, I think they already kind of know where it's going to go, but yeah, I think it just depends on who gets hurt first.
Well,
but it's also gives us that. But I mean, I think what was perfect was when Cody Rhodes said, "I don't have to be the good guy anymore," which we kind of predicted on that. He needed to, but I think we'll see how it plays out.
Well, here's my strong take on SmackDown. Baron Corbin has now retained the U.S. title twice in 2 weeks by cheating. Once in his challenger's hometown. James, you picked his reign to be the first SummerSlam title change to fall. Corbin is the most protected champion on the roster, and nobody noticed.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I didn't even know who he was going to be, with the whole Carmelo Hayes thing, but I didn't think it would go on this long. I should have known, because he's, I thought the belt thing to get the belt was you hit him with the belt. Now that just kind of seems like it's going to be a thing.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Monday Night Raw, August 17th, out of Buffalo, where Solo Sikoa spiked Roman Reigns instead of kneeling. So, the stipulation from August 10th came due. Jey Uso beat Solo Sikoa, and Sikoa had to be delivered to Roman Reigns in Buffalo. The Usos walked into the ring. Reigns returned after missing the previous week. Reigns humiliated him first, and the promo is the tape. He played a video of Sikoa's old "The Tribal Chief Can Kiss My" line back at him. Then, I don't care what the fans were chanting, just seeing him pisses me off. Almost 3 years ago, I beat your ass on the Raw debut on Netflix in Tribal Combat. Why are you looking me eye to eye right now instead of down on your knees begging me right now? I am the Tribal Chief, and the Usos are my captains. If you disrespect them, you disrespect me. They are made men. He took Sikoa's sunglasses off, threw them down, and stepped on them. Jacob Fatu super kicked Sikoa and hooked the tongue in death grip. Reigns stopped him, shouting, "Enough!" Then he draped Ula Fala's ceremonial necklaces on Jay and Jimmy and named them his captains. Then we got the swerve. LA Knight ran in and dumped both the Usos. Reigns hit Knight with a Superman punch and ordered Sikoa to finish him with a Samoan spike. Sikoa said, "I'm sorry tonight," and spiked Roman Reigns instead. He and Knight cleared out both Usos. Knight caught Reigns with a second BFT on the way back. They fist bumped and left together. The detail nobody's talking about, Jacob Fatu never engaged. Knight asked him directly what he was going to do, and Fatu just stared. He watched the whole beatdown and picked no side. Multiple outlets flagged it as a deliberate dangling thread. Michael Cole on commentary. What a disaster for the bloodline. That was a segment.
Yeah.
That was
the end segment.
That was what we need more of in everything. Before we get into it a little bit more in depth, let's talk about the rest of the card. So we had Javon Evans beat JD McDonough with a top rope OG cutter in 10 minutes. Then Big Cass ran in and attacked Evans again with a little bit of help from Dom. Ruka beat Lyra Valkyria with a Soul Snatcher in 11 minutes, which to me, this is terrible. Why are you wasting Lyra, this character you're trying to build up, and you're just going to give it away that quickly? Chad Gable retained Intercontinental title over Rey Mysterio in 13 minutes, even after Mysterio hit 2 619s.
It's a good match.
It's his first successful defense since taking it from Penta on SummerSlam Night 2. We also had Paul Heyman brokering a deal between Obafemi versus Braun Breaker for the first ever match on Sunday night's main event, coming from State Farm Arena in Atlanta, which is also Braun Breaker's hometown. And also where we're going to get Cody versus Randy Orton again. From a numbers perspective, WrestleTix had 9,597 distributed tickets in a arena that can do 10,600. However, Cole on commentary said there were over 11,000. Not sure how that happened. Raw was the number one TV show on the day in the US, UK, and Canada, up from number 2 the week before. And it did that with Reigns advertised, but the show built around Sikoa. So here's the big question for you, James. Solo Sikoa just turned down the tribal chief on his knees and took the babyface exit with LA Knight. Is that a real face turn? Or is he going to be the guy who beats up Reigns for 6 weeks and then loses to him?
Yeah, I think it'll probably end up being that, because like the main thing is that like I don't like there are some people who are out there who will think Solo Sikoa is great, but I guess it's not hitting with me. Like I don't find him
pew pew.
Yeah, I don't find him very entertaining, I guess. Like I liked when he didn't really talk. But ever since like it's been, he's been on his own for a number of months after the basically MFTs got decimated and Tala and Tama turned after he cost them tag team matches and they said they were leaving, and he's been on his own for the past few weeks, and it's just it hasn't hit with me personally.
Okay, so you're saying it's temporary. So let me ask you this. Then why would you let him do the spike on Reigns, the most protected move on the biggest star spot that they've had?
No, I'm saying I think this goes on for goes on for a little while, and then he probably ends up getting the same thing that he had to do with Jacob, where I beat you, you joined me type deal.
All right. Jacob Fatu stood there, did nothing. Is that the actual main event of this story?
No, I think, it helps because, like, that's the thing. It'll probably end up being something between Jay and Fatu. Jacob? I think Jacob. Yeah, I can remember. Name dropped out of my head, but I think that's been kind of. They've been bumping heads since day one. I
don't know, man. Reigns named the Usos as captains. He put necklaces on them. So,
but
Jimmy and Jay heels now?
They've kind of been doing heel stuff as of late. It's kind of been light heel work. But I think with Jacob not, just standing there, which he was told to do. He was told to stand there, but I think that didn't help the situation.
So do you think that this whole Sikoa Knight as a tag team thing is going to work, or is Knight just the guy who happened to be in the building?
Yeah, they have some chemistry. They've tagged together before, and at the SummerSlam, and so I think they might do that for a little while, and then we'll see how it just falls apart or whatever.
Chad Gable retained on a reversal against Rey Mysterio. Is that a champion being protected or a champion being exposed?
I don't know, probably a little bit of both, protected and just because I think he's gotten a real big fans are really liking him again. So,
well, here's my big take on my strong take on Monday Night Raw. WWE built a 2-week storyline where the payoff was a man refusing to kneel, and they gave it away on a random Monday in Buffalo. That's a WrestleMania beat spent in August. The fact that it still made Raw the #1 show in 3 countries tells you the material is there and the calendar is wrong.
Okay.
All right, you ready? Let's talk about last night's NXT. Shall we?
Yep.
Zilla Fatu, who just appeared last week, signed a contract that rewrote the Heatwave main event.
Which blew my mind. I was like, he signed a contract and gets a title shot? Huh?
So Zilla Fatu did not wrestle. He signed, and the contract itself was the angle. GM Robert Stone read it out on air. In this contract right here, it states that Zilla's first NXT match is an NXT title match.
What?
So let's talk about that card. Stone had already announced Tony D'Angelo defending against Grayson Waller and Cruz Montana in a triple threat at Heatwave. The signing converted it to a fatal 4-way with Fatu added. He negotiated his way into a title match in his second appearance. Cruz Montana opened the show calling him out. Rey Fenix interrupted, and Montana said he'd wait for Fatu in the parking lot. D'Angelo, Montana, and Waller all had to be held back by security while Fatu taunted them after signing. The through line from last week, on August 11th, Fatu debuted, hit Simone splashes on both men in the #1 contenders match, and voided it. So the sequence is, he broke the contenders match, then used the vacuum to write himself into the title match. That is a genuinely smart piece of booking, and it took only 8 days. Let's talk about the rest of the card, shall we? EK Prosper won a fatal 4-way over Tristan Angles, Romeo Monroe, La Parca with a top rope moonsault to become the #1 contender to Rey Fenix's AAA Cruiserweight title. Yeah. Phoenix came out and shook his hand. Yeah. Maddie made Thea Hale submit to the sharpshooter and held it well past the bell, while Nikita Lyons and Carmen Petrovic restrained Jada Parker. Lexis King retained the speed title, which nobody cares about, over Lucian Price after Stax distracted the ref and Connor Dempsey grabbed Price's ankle.
Yeah,
Kalani Jordan and Callie Armstrong upset champions Kendall Gray and Ren Sinclair. Armstrong pinned Sinclair with the Callie connection. Jackson Drake beat Shiloh Hill after Noroku blinded Hill with a miss, making Drake #1 contender for the North American title.
He said, or Bourne said that if he won, that the rest of Swipe Right would get their tag team rematch at Heatwave.
So now we've got the full Heatwave card, and it's set for Sunday, August 30th. Again, from the Burt Ogden Arena in Edinburgh, Texas. We've got likely our main event, Tony D'Angelo champion versus Zilla Fatu, Cruz Montana, Grayson Waller in a fatal 4-way. Kendall Gray champion versus Kalani Jordan in the women's championship. Zarya versus Ren Sinclair in a title unification, women's North American and women's speed. Miles Bourne champion versus Jackson Drake for North American Championship. And again, Miles Bourne and Tavion Heights versus Vanity Project for the NXT Tag Champion.
Oh, that's right.
Miles Bourne is booked in 2 matches on the same show, defending the North American title and the tag titles.
Yeah, he put himself in that situation.
So, James, here's the big question. Zilla Fatu has had 1 match's worth of TV, and he's in a fatal 4-way for the NXT title. Is that NXT trusting the name, or NXT admitting they have nobody else?
No, it's just they're trusting the name.
Okay.
They're going with the Fatu name. That's pretty much all it is. Will he win? I don't think so. I think Tony D'Angelo holds on to the championship, but I think he will make a very good showing for himself.
So you're saying D'Angelo retains without being beaten and Fatu loses nothing? So ultimately you're saying Fatu's not going to be the one to take the pin then, probably.
No, he's not going to take the pin, but he will.
So if D'Angelo's winning, who's losing here? Who's taking the pin?
No, I think it'll end up being Grayson Waller.
You're going to waste everything, especially you've heard about this backstage incident with Grayson Waller and CM Punk?
No.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be Grayson Waller.
Oh, then if that's the case, then yeah, I can see Cruz Montana going down. But also that kind of wastes him coming over. But at the same time, he doesn't really lose. He doesn't really lose anything. So I mean, I think they need to make, if Tony's going to lose, Tony needs to move up. But I don't think there's room for Tony to move up right now. So I think they need to hold off on that.
Contract clause is a storyline device. Clever or a cheat to skip building him?
Building Fatu?
Yeah. Is it clever?
Again, I think they're going off of the name. They're going off of the name. They're going off the destruction that he caused at the end of 2 weeks ago. And I think that's what they're going off of.
Miles Bourne in 2 matches. Is he leaving with both, neither, or one of his titles?
He's probably leaving with one.
Which one?
I'm thinking he's going to leave with his North American Championship. I think the tag match, even though, well, it depends. Again, this is one of those things. It depends on how it starts, because I know he's not gonna defend that one early. I think if anything, the tag match goes early. He might end up keeping the tag. Yeah, let me switch that. I think he's going to end up keeping the tag team championships, but lose the North American Championship.
Okay. Does the Zarya and Sinclair unification mean that the women's speed title was a failed experiment?
I think if they just kept it the way they, I mean, that's the thing. It was this YouTube thing, and then they brought the championship over to NXT, and like the last couple of weeks, they've been just there's been no tournament or anything for it that it used to be. And so it's I think it's just kind of fizzling.
Montana said he'd wait in the parking lot, and then nothing happened. Is that a drop thread or next week's cold open?
I mean, well, we saw him there during the match. We saw him out in the parking lot, but again, nothing happened. So he was just out there.
Here's my strong take on NXT. NXT just did in 8 days what the main roster takes 8 months to do. Fatu debuted, broke a match, and talked his way into a title shot. And every step of it was on television. Meanwhile, Solo Sikoa needed a 2-week stipulation to get to 1 turn.
Yeah.
I think Shawn Michaels is running I think Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker are running 2 better shows right now than Triple H's 2 shows.
Yeah, no, I agree with that for sure. Yeah, because I know, because Mark's on doing AAA and Sean is doing NXT, and I mean, I think NXT has been above par for quite some time.
All right, you ready for my predictions?
Go.
Punk versus Owens on SmackDown August 21st. Punk retains. Owens loses in his hometown, and it's a screwy finish, not a clean pin. 7 out of 10.
Said that. Yeah.
AAA tournament final. Penta wins the tournament, faces Reigns, and he gets there past La Parka coming up. Roman Reigns versus the AAA winner. Reigns is going to win. I'm going to give that a 9 out of 10. There will be some near falls, but...
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Jacob Fatu, by September 6th, Saturday night's main event, Fatu will leave the bloodline and line up with Sikoa and Knight. I don't feel as confident about this one. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10, but I think that's what we're seeing happen.
No.
Corbin's U.S. title run. Corbin still holds the U.S. title by the end of the month. He's not losing it. I'm giving that one a 7 out of 10. The NXT Fatal 4-Way on Heatwave August 30th. Tony D'Angelo is going to retain. He does it without being pinned. Fatu and Montana take each other out. Finally, Miles Bourne's double booking a Heatwave. Bourne is going to leave with exactly one of his 2 titles. Not both, not neither. Just one.
Yeah.
So here's your lightning round, James. You ready?
Yeah, go.
Punk or Owens?
Punk.
How confident?
And I feel like 8.
Who's winning the AAA tournament?
I think Penta.
Confident?
I'm gonna give that about I give that a 7.5.
Does Roman Reigns lose in Mexico City?
No.
Jacob,
not. Yeah.
Jacob Fatu stood there and picked nobody on Monday. Where does he land and when?
He's not. I don't think he has an option to leave the bloodline at this point, because especially with the end of how him and Solo ended.
So you're saying he stays put for now.
Mm-hmm.
Who takes the U.S. title off of Corbin and when?
I have no clue. I don't know who takes it off of him, but I think actually if it does go anywhere, I think it might be going back to Trick Williams.
When?
Oh,
Money in the Bank?
Maybe Money in the Bank.
Okay. So you're saying you're seeing Corbin hold it all the way through October?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, sorry.
Does JC Jane hold the women's U.S. title through Heatwave?
Probably. Well, she's not on NXT, so.
I've heard some screwy things might be happening.
Oh, okay. Hey, are we almost done?
Yeah. Miles Bourne is in 2 title matches at Heatwave. How many does he leave with?
I only told you he's leaving with 1. And kind of depends on who goes first, which one goes first.
Well, 2 weeks of TV, 2 title changes, a hometown title match on Friday, and a Mexico City main event being built. And James is going to go poop himself, I guess. What was I saying? WWE's problem has never been material. It's that they give away a 2 title change SmackDown on the same night Marvel cast the X-Men, and only one of those made it out of the news cycle. My overall position on WWE in the last 2 weeks. WWE is currently better at building things than announcing them. The AAA tournament into Arena CDMX is the smartest storyline in wrestling, and almost nobody outside the hardcore audience knows it's happening. Marvel announced a movie for 2028, and it led every entertainment site in the world. That gap is a marketing problem, not a booking problem. So as we wait for James to return, oh, there he is. Hopefully he is. Did you poop yourself?
No, I almost peed myself.
And this is how the audience knows you're getting old.
Yeah.
Well, we've finished our 2 big segments. Let's talk about something else that I always like to discuss, which is D23 in general. So from an experience showcase perspective, Marvel is building 2 new rides while canceling shows. So at Saturday's Park Showcase, produced the single best counter argument to our cold open, and it's Marvel's content, not Disney filler. If we're running, so let's take a look. Avengers Campus at California Adventure is doubling in size with 2 new attractions, both in 2028. Avengers Infinity Defense, a dark ride, multiverse battle against King Thanos. We did find out that Iman Vellani reprises Miss Marvel to give the pre-mission briefing. We've seen that Jeremy Renner is Hawkeye, Anthony Mackie is Captain America, and Chris Hemsworth as Thor are all returning. Some of the settings that we know will be in the ride: Asgard, Wakanda, and New York. And then we also have the Stark Flight Lab, a flight simulator, 2-person pod on mechanical arms, which will have Robert Downey Jr., Anthony Mackie, and Brie Larson as flight instructors. Anthony Mackie, man, getting double dosage there.
Yeah.
We found out that Shanghai is getting the first land in the world dedicated entirely to Spider-Man. A new Shanghai division of Web, Spider-Bots building an unnamed coaster. Hong Kong is getting an Avengers pavilion, replacing the Stark Expo skyline, housing the Avengers research and testing labs, spanning Wakanda and Asgard. No dates on either. The take that writes itself. Downey, Mackie, Larson, Hemsworth, Renner, and Vellani all agreed to record new material for theme park rides. Marvel Studios could not fill a panel, but Disney Experiences booked 6 MCU actors for 2 attractions. The talent isn't the problem. The TV division is. We also, same panel, got some confirmation on the Disney Believe, a new cruise ship with a partial reveal of the Moana Grand Hall with a bronze Moana statue, Woody and Buzz on the stern drawing the ship's name in crayon lettering. And the first time Pixar characters have been stern characters. A hand-painted Tinkerbell figurine on the bow. And the full reveal is still being held for October 7th live stream. This is the 4th Wish class ship, and it's set sail late 2027.
Okay.
Nothing? No thoughts on any of that?
No, that's whatever.
All right. Disney Experiences just committed to 2 new Avenger rides with 6 returning MCU actors, James. Is the theme park division now a better steward of these characters than Marvel Television?
Yeah, probably.
Every single park's announcement came without an opening date, except the 2 Avengers rides. What does that mean that the Marvel ones are the only ones within a year attached?
I don't know. I think it's just they already kind of had. They kind of already were. They might have been working on this stuff already.
Fair enough. This one I think is just interesting. So Disney sued the FCC on Monday. Tuesday, August 18th, Disney and ABC sued the FCC in federal court in D.C., alleging its actions violated the First Amendment. It targets the FCC's early review of Disney's 8 ABC-owned broadcast station licenses and a separate proceeding over whether The View keeps its bona fide news program exemption from equal time rules. Disney says the pressure has already changed the show's booking. No political candidate guests since February. Disney is asking for a temporary restraining order and preliminary injunction. The FCC's response: it has been investigating Disney's DEI practices for over a year and will continue to follow the facts and law wherever they lead. Any thoughts on that?
I mean, I think it's a little bit ridiculous, but
well, I think it's ridiculous that The View is considered a bona fide news program. It's not.
I think it's not a news program. It's like a talk show.
Yeah, and that's really what this comes down to. It currently has an exemption which allows them to have certain things available to them or unavailable to them, and in my opinion, take it away. They are not a bona fide news program. And so the whole concept, and you may not know this, but with a bona fide news television, they are supposed to spend equal times on pretty much everything, talking, especially when it comes to politics. They're supposed to spend equal time from a Dem, from a Republican, You're not supposed to just have, your guests on TV as dem, which is a lot of what they do. So the whole point, the simple thing to me is just take away the exemption or give up the exemption and move on. It's easy.
Yeah, and they give some news, like at the top of the show, but then the rest of it's a talk show.
Yeah, and that's fine, but it's a talk show. It is as much a news show as like the Sean Hannity show is a news show. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Let's just be honest.
Yeah, it's not. It's just it's more of a talk show than it is a news show. I think like I said, from what they give like a little bit of news, and that's like at the top of the show, and then the rest of it is talk show-esque.
All right, let's bang out these last couple things, shall we? Star Wars Starfighter.
Excited.
Ryan Gosling, May 2027.
Kind of excited.
Ahsoka season 2.
I need to see how this is going to work because they didn't give me a whole lot, but
no, there wasn't a whole lot given.
But I like this poster though.
Agreed. Percy Jackson season 3, November 20th.
Again, I'm behind on Percy Jackson. Yeah,
you love Percy Jackson.
I do. I absolutely, and it looks like they are going to, like, I was thinking when this show started that each season will end up being a book, and so far it's been that way. I just kind of fell behind. I was trying to get caught up on X-Men. I was trying to get caught up on other stuff. So
Frozen 3.
Finally.
Incredibles 3.
Finally, except I heard this is taking place right after Incredibles 2. Let it breathe a little bit.
Zootopia 3.
I pretty much knew that was going to happen based on Zootopia 2. The ending of Zootopia 2.
Coco 2.
Finally one that actually is aging. But apparently dealing with the same villain again, which is weird, but okay.
Here's my big thought on this. Disney's animation slate is now entirely sequels to films that are between 9 and 23 years old. Coco 2 is arriving 13 years after Coco.
With the same actor, though, apparently.
Yeah, but ultimately, to me, it's a little disconcerting that they're so hyper-focused on doing sequels rather than creating new
stuff. Yeah.
So I'm not knocking any of these. I
only think it's because I think the fan base is built in. That's the only thing.
I don't disagree with you. I think it's great. Can we do that as well as?
Yeah, there should be something new in there as well.
Well, that's what I've got. You got anything else?
No.
Well, I look forward to next week and looking at our scores, seeing how we did. And you want to shut her down?
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Deuces.